So, hello and welcome back to Around the World in 80 Days, where I'm going to apologize in advance because this is just the year of having stupid colds. I managed to catch a cold right when I got home from my little mini vacation, and it's been knocking me out. My voice has this weird quaver in it. It might break a lot. And it's really annoying. Also, my entire head is just stopped up. But you know what? We can push through this and at least get a chapter of our book read. So that's what we're going to do. We are reading Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne, and we are on chapter 4. I probably won't do 2 chapters and just get this chapter and hope that I can keep drinking a lot of tea, etc., so that tomorrow we don't sound ridiculous. I don't like it when colds affect my voice. That's possibly the most annoying thing ever. Also, I am aware, thank you to commenters, that this book probably is going to have some not very correct thinking patterns. That's the danger of any book that's really old. I'm not going to be reading anything that's super, super racist. I'll just mention that they said something racist and skip ahead because I'm just personally not comfortable with that. I know that historically that's just the way it was back then, but that doesn't mean we have to condone it. With all of that, and with some more hydration to hopefully get my voice like coated. Did that help? It helps briefly. But with all of that, let's jump in to chapter 4 of Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. And chapter 4 is titled In Which Phileas Fogg Astounds Passepartout His Servant. Having won 20 guineas at whist and taking leave of his friends, Phileas Fogg, at 25 minutes past 7, left the Reform Club. Passepartout, who had conscientiously studied the program of his duties, was more than surprised to see his master guilty of the inexactness of appearing at this unaccustomed hour, for according to the rule, he was not due in Savile Row until midnight. Mr. Fogg went to his bedroom and then called out, "Passepartout?" Passepartout did not reply. It could not be he who was called. It was not the right hour. "Passepartout," said Mr. Fogg, without raising his voice. Passepartout appeared. "I've called you twice," said his master. "But it is not midnight," responded Passepartout, showing him his watch. "I know. I don't blame you. We start for Dover and Calais in 10 minutes." A puzzled grin overspread Passepartout's round face. Clearly, he did not comprehend his master. "Monsieur is going to leave home?" "Yes," said Phileas Fogg. "We're going round the world." Passepartout opened wide his eyes, raised his eyebrows, held up his hands, and seemed about to collapse, so overcome was he with stupefied astonishment. "Around the world?" he murmured. "In 80 days," said Mr. Fogg. "So we don't have a moment to lose." "But the trunks," gasped Passepartout, unconsciously swaying his head from right to left. "We'll have no trunks, only a carpet bag with 2 shirts and 3 pairs of stockings for me, and the same for you. We'll buy our clothes along the way. Bring down my mackintosh and traveling cloak, and some stout shoes, though we shall do little walking. Make haste." Passepartout tried to reply, but he could not. He went out, went to his own room, fell into a chair, and muttered, "That's good, that's what it is. And I who wanted quiet life." He mechanically set about making the preparations for departure. Around the world? In 80 days? Was his master a fool? Was this a joke? They were going to Dover? Good. To Calais? Again, good. After all, Passepartout, who had been away from France for 5 years, would not be sorry to set foot on his native soil again. Perhaps they would go as far as Paris, and it would do his eyes good to see Paris once more. But surely a gentleman so chary of his steps would stop there. No doubt, but then it was none the less true that he was going away. He had been so domestic before. By 8 o'clock, Passepartout had packed the modest carpet bag, containing the wardrobes of his master and himself, and then, still troubled, he carefully shut the door to his room and descended to Mr. Fogg. Mr. Fogg was quite ready. Under his arm might have been observed a red-bound copy of Bradshaw's Continental Railway Steam Transit and General Guide, with its timetables showing the arrival and departure of steamers and railways. He took the carpet-bag, opened it, and slipped into it a goodly roll of Bank of England notes, which should pass wherever he might go. "You have forgotten nothing," said Phileas. "Nothing, monsieur." "My mackintosh and cloak?" "Here they are." "Good. Take this carpet-bag." He handed it to Passepartout. "Take good care of it, for there are 20,000 pounds in it." Passepartout nearly dropped the bag, as if the 20,000 pounds were gold and had weighed him down. After that, master and servant then descended. The street door was double locked, and at the end of Savile Road they took a cab and rode quickly down to Charing Cross. The cab stopped before the railway station at 20 minutes past 8. Passepartout jumped off the box and followed his master, who, after paying the cabman, was about to enter the station when a poor beggar woman with a child in her arms, her bare feet smeared with mud, her head covered with a wretched bonnet from which hung a tattered feather, and her shoulders shrouded in a ragged shawl, approached and mournfully asked for alms. Mr. Fogg took out the 20 guineas that he had just won playing whist and handed them to the beggar, saying, "Here, my good woman, I'm glad that I met you," and then moved along. Passepartout had a moist sensation around his eyes. His master's actions touched his susceptible heart. 2 first-class tickets for Paris having been speedily purchased, Mr. Fogg was crossing the station to the train when he saw his 5 friends from the Reform. "Well, gentlemen," he said, "I'm off, you see, and if you will examine my passport when I get back, you will be able to judge whether I have accomplished the journey we agreed upon." "Oh, that would be quite unnecessary, Mr. Fogg," said Ralph politely. "We will trust your word as gentlemen of honor." "You do not forget when you are due in London again," said Stuart. "In 80 days, on Saturday, the 21st of December, 1872, at 9:15 p.m. Goodbye, gentlemen." Phileas Fogg and his servant seated themselves in a first-class carriage at 20 minutes before 9. 5 minutes later, the whistle screamed, and the train slowly glided away from the station. The night was dark, and a fine, steady rain was falling. Phileas Fogg, snugly ensconced in his corner, did not open his mouth. Passepartout, not yet recovered from his stupefaction, clung mechanically to the carpet-bag with its enormous amount of money. Just as the train was whirling through Sindem, Passepartout suddenly uttered a cry of utter despair. "What's the matter?" said Mr. Fogg. "Alas, in my hurry I forgot—" "What?" "To turn off the gas in my room." "Very well, young man," said Mr. Fogg. "I guess it will burn down at your expense." And that's where the chapter ends, which seems like a really weird place to have a chapter end. And like I said, normally I would go on, but I don't want to torture you with the way my voice sounds, at least the way it sounds to me. I don't know if it sounds the same to you guys, but it sounds terrible. I'm going to go drink some tea and maybe take some more cold medicine. And hopefully tomorrow I won't be bobbing up and down and breaking all the time. Fingers crossed. I'm not sure where I caught this cold. I did not go around the world in 80 days, unlike what these two are planning on. I did go around a state in 5 days. I don't think that counts, though. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I hope that you're enjoying this story. I think it's going to be a good time, and I will see you tomorrow.